Hey, welcome to Two Cents, guys. It's the first one of the year. Happy 2016. We got a special treat. It's usually me and Steve. We've been doing this for half a year now, about. Does that sound right?
Something like that. What's the number on this one?
I could check, but
25 or something?
yeah, I think it's like 28. But we got a special treat, not just for us, but for you as well. We're joined by the Immaculate Conception, David Junko, the original Dollar Views podcast hosts for all of season one. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Say hi to our 5 listeners. That's a lie. We average like 15
Yeah.
per episode, yeah.
God, how long have we done this since? Like 8 months now?
Almost.
Excluding your first season? Yeah. God.
I mean, it was since since Mad Max. So, like May
Which never
16th.
got out there, that's right.
It's not my fault. But yeah, shout out to Jairo Lopez, the Facemaker, for giving us our first type of feedback on our WordPress site. Thank you. It's supported. We're gonna start
Hi,
this off.
Hyro, if you're listening.
I'm sure he just got a big boner in his cubicle tomorrow morning.
What was the feedback?
He listened to our Few Dollars More episode for Star Wars, and the comment is something like, "I'm not sure if it matters, but I really like this episode."
I'll take it.
Right?
You lost
Let's start
me.
this off with something big. I've talked about this on the show, I think, twice now. Steve, you texted me this like yesterday. Chi-raq, Spike Lee's latest movie. It went live digitally on Tuesday. You could buy and rent it, not just from Amazon, but also from iTunes, Sony, all the major digital marketplaces. They had the audacity not to announce a Prime date. We finally have one. It's February 4th. And so as a big fuck you to them, I tweeted Chirac the movie, I tweeted Amazon Instant and Amazon directly, and they must have not read my message, which was totally negative. And the Chirac official one said, "Thanks for the tweet, guys." See, I really don't understand this. I was kind of against them, or really against them. I titled an episode on it. I think it was like 24, not prime time. For them putting it in theaters and not putting it on Prime, now selling it and not having it on Prime, and now making us wait a month, literally from today, until I can see it for free, even though I pay $100 a year. You guys don't think this is kind of weird?
I don't think it's weird.
Well, I forgot to mention this also when I saw Macbeth, but it wasn't just a Weinstein Company movie. That also has the Amazon Studios logo on it.
Macbeth?
Yeah, and so
Oh.
they're going to have exclusive streaming rights after the theatrical release. So I don't know how this is working exactly, because I know Lionsgate also has distribution on Chi-raq, so I don't know if I just don't think it's a Netflix exclusive thing, or anything like that. I'm guessing, so far it seems like the co-productions have been with other studios, so I don't know. There's not much room to blame, and I saw it in theaters too, so I was happy. Which, by the way, when Chi-raq is available on Prime, you should definitely watch it. It's a very important movie.
I have to watch it, like that. I watched the Old Boy remake the day before Chirac came out because I thought it was gonna be a midnight release. And I can wait a month. It's probably not gonna get nominated for any Oscars. I think most people can wait a month. But I just thought it was a really weird business move to sell it and not let your customers get it for free.
That's what they do all the time, though. I mean, I know it's an Amazon movie. It's produced by Amazon Studios. It's something that they're doing, but that's traditionally what they do. They don't. If they've got a movie that they can stream, they'll always try and sell it or distribute it for rent before they make it available for streaming. They did that with Ex Machina.
Well, that wasn't theirs.
That was
though.
A24 though.
Yeah, it was
I know,
A24, yeah.
I know it's not theirs, but same basic deal.
They made
if you can maximize your profit.
They made a big deal about this being an Amazon movie, though. They had a pretty big push behind it. They had like the soundtrack up for streaming through Prime Music, mind you, like a week before the theatrical release. Like it was a big thing. Like it was all over the major trades. They were talking about like, oh, Amazon's making moves, like they're actually theatrical game, and the fact that it got a really big release for something that's involved with a streaming network. I just hope that whatever their next movie is, that it doesn't follow this trend. But who knows if they're making the money, if they release that info sometime, which is probably at the end of the quarter, we'll find out. But just as someone who's a fan of Spike Lee and who's been a Amazon subscriber for like 5 years now, it was kind of like a slap in the face.
Well, I have to guess that it really has to do with it being more of a co-production than an original Amazon movie. Because,
Yeah, I
I mean,
hope
yeah,
so.
thinking back on it, when I saw Beast of No Nation, that was just the Netflix logo. Like
Yeah,
that
just
was it.
Netflix.
Yeah,
just
and
Netflix.
yeah, and Chirac, I think it was also what is it? Roadshow Entertainment. That's the little
Yeah.
indie company. And, so yeah, and between that and Macbeth, it looks more like they're co-productions. Like they're obviously financiers in the movie, but they don't have a 100% say in how it gets out. So I think it's just going to depend on when they do that one movie that's a 100% an Amazon production, and we'll see what happens there.
It's probably going to be this year, I would assume,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
with their, their writers' workshop thing. They're really going to drop the ball if they don't do it. It's probably going to be in like the next 4 months. Let's move on to something more interesting, though. Galaxy Far, Far Away. George Lucas, did you guys see this interview he did?
I've
Yeah.
seen all of the interviews.
Okay, so you saw the one. I think it was out like on Thursday. It was Charlie Rose, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, where his quote is, "He sold Star Wars to white slavers," and
Yeah.
then he kind of laughed off the end of the sentence. And then, sure
Yeah.
enough, a couple of days later, his publicist told him, "You can't really say that. That's not PC." But I liked what he said in that interview, where he claimed that
In
they didn't want
context,
to.
though, I don't. You can tell that he's kind of joking around.
Yeah, he's definitely joking.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
Like
completely taken out of context because nobody played the rest of the clip.
Well, yeah, it's 42 minutes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah.
I love how he claimed that Disney was afraid to take the risks of his planned sequel trilogy, and they quote wanted to do something for the fans. Like that seemed like a bigger insult than white slavers, but no one had a problem with that.
It is a bigger insult than white slavers. You just can't say the words white slavers. It's not PC. It's not when you profited $4.5 billion off of those white slavers.
I mean, I can tell
But
he's clearly bitter over the whole thing. I mean, I kind of
Well, he lost his baby.
yeah. I mean,
So
I kind of
it's a
get
slaver.
it though.
yeah,
At the same
definitely
time.
buyer's or seller's remorse.
it's like I could imagine him on Tatooine losing his mom. Like he probably felt that way. He probably has he's gonna write his sequel trilogy. He's gonna release the screenplays, and it's gonna be like a $50 book of all three together in like some shitty binding. He's gonna sell them at like Star Wars conventions.
No, he
The
wouldn't
next
have
Star
to.
Wars
He
celebration.
wouldn't have to do that.
He's gonna have a
making
corner
way
booth.
more money than he needs to. There's no. I mean, honestly, when he's talking about making those movies and literally showing them to no one, am I understanding that right? That he's going to make his own movies and just show them to his friends and literally no one else, like not even get them out there. Am I understanding that right? That's kind of what I got from it.
I mean, he
Uh,
probably. I wouldn't. I would just try to become his friend really hard.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know if he's gonna make movies or make the movies, but I think something like what Brian said might be happening. I'm pretty sure he's got some scripts semi completed.
Hmm.
I mean, he's always.
and maybe now in his anger,
I mean, he's always been about
he's just
doing his own thing. Like I talked about it on the THX
Yeah.
episode. Like I really want to see more stuff like that, and it is very experimental and out there, and is
I wanna
not
see-
going to appeal to a bunch of people. But yeah, George Lucas has always been about doing his own thing, and I see why to him that's kind of a slap in the face to do something for fans that's meant specifically to be pleasing to people. But that's the studio mentality. No, you want to make something that is going to reach out to the widest audience possible.
It's funny you said that. This is a perfect transition. On the other side of the stars, this week, this fan film, Axanar, which is a Star Trek fan film, literally, that got crowdfunded for a $1 million budget. They got the full money. Lawyers from both CBS and Paramount shut down Axanar Productions. They told them that they're not allowed to do this, even though it's strictly a fan film. They said that this is against policies, blah, blah, blah. Just came up with whatever they could to try to get this not off the ground. So it's still up in the air what's going to happen here. But it's weird. It's like, why wouldn't you approve of a fan film, fan fiction, literally, that has the support of stars and the people involved with the Star Trek movies and shows? It's kind of like the same thing. It's like, why would you put your foot down?
I mean, what's the issue? Just like that they're worried that people are going to get paid off this, and they're trying to release it out there. Because the thing with fan films is you can do them, you just
Sorta,
can't take
yeah.
money for them.
You can't get money. And the
Yeah.
intention here wasn't to, make any profit off of this. I think it was just the fact that they got $1 million to make a fan film which isn't anything to scoff at. Like there's, some theatrical releases that have less than that. So
Hmm.
I don't know. If anything, I think it's just them trying to keep the one thing they have. We're talking about CBS, they don't have many theatrical things. And like Star Trek Beyond, that had a pretty good trailer, but what are they doing with their property? They're making a streaming only Star Trek show in the next couple of months. So they're kind of confused on what to do with it. Maybe they're just mad that someone else got it right and the fans were behind them. I don't know. We'll find out in the coming months, like I said, when details of whatever kind of defendant suing, whatever the court like junction is, if that stuff is leaked. But it's just really sad and kind of weird. It's like
Well, when
maybe.
stuff
Mhm.
sorry, when stuff like that happens, they're just trying to nullify anybody cashing in on anything that could be proprietary to the owning to the companies that own the property, and it's sad because I'm sure it was an awesome effort, and it was an awesome effort to get $1 million crowdfunded for a fan fiction movie. It's sad that a big company feels that they need to protect themselves in that way. But if you do let one thing slip through the cracks, if you let somebody make any kind of profit off of something that you technically own, I don't know what else could happen. And maybe that's where they're coming from.
Maybe. I think it's pretty flimsy. I hope a judge drops it, to be honest, just because like what the little that I read about this film, it's a prequel to the 66 series, the original show, and it's
Mm.
like mostly about Klingons or I don't know. I wasn't, I'm not that well versed in the Trekkies, but like it seemed interesting enough. Like it got funded, like at least like let them make it and then I don't know, maybe you publish it yourself and you make the profit that they could have potentially had. I don't know.
Here's hoping that there is some sort of settlement reached, but then again, it's CBS, and Paramount.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to really settle for anything here, so they really kind of got them by the balls, which is that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mentioned this forever ago. Did you know that Desilu Productions created Star Trek?
Yeah, you told me that.
Not only Star Trek, but also Mission Impossible.
Mm.
So it's like, what would Lucille Ball say if she was still alive? I'd be interested. Let him have it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Uh, Probably like the biggest news item that happened this week, and I didn't want to start off with it because whatever. Christopher Nolan's next movie, there's actual details now. We reported on this, I don't know, I think it was like 3 months ago. We said, oh, there's a script maybe, and they're going to be shooting in 2017 or whatever. It's actually a thing now. Warner Brothers has released details. It's a World War II flick called Dunkirk. It's about a titular town where there's an evacuation of 300,000 Allied troops from the French in this French town while they were surrounded by Nazis. So that's a cool concept. It's real. He's going to be riding it with Jonathan Nolan. It's being shot on 65 in IMAX. It's starring completely unknowns with help from Tom Hardy, Mark Rylance, and Kenneth Branagh. So I'm really excited.
Yay! It's new Nolan. I mean, what is there to say really? It's
Yeah.
he's one of the few guys out there that's able to get money for a major film that's not based off an existing franchise. So in that right, of course, it's going to be interesting, and hopefully it'll be good.
Well, I mean, I'm more interested in that it's being shot on 65, and then what's not 65 is IMAX 70. So like, it's getting closer and closer to all IMAX movies for things that aren't tent poles. I mean, I'm sure this is going to be marketed in a way that it's going to be a big movie in the same way that Interstellar was, even though it's lacking, time travel or space.
Right.
But like, 2017, that's only a couple of months before. No, that who knows? I don't know. I think it might be a May movie. But yeah, it's
It's a
gonna be.
July movie.
Is it July? It's only a
Yeah.
couple of months before Infinity War Part One. No, that's 2018. My mistake. So it's
Yeah.
only a year before a film is being shot entirely on IMAX film. So it's like the beginning of
Yeah,
the
and
end.
Infinity Wars is being shot digitally too. That's another
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah, it's on the
yeah,
RE
it's
and
not as
the IMAX, but
bulky as the IMAX camera for film.
it's 100% IMAX though.
Hmm.
So it's like thanks to the stuff that Christopher Nolan did on the Dark Knight trilogy, that this is happening, and now he's continuing to be able to do that stuff with the stuff. I really hope Wally Pfister comes back, unless he somehow makes Transcendence 2. That could be a thing.
No, won't happen.
I mean, he needs to get back behind the camera, just not behind the viewfinder.
Yeah, I don't know what he's been doing since it's been what a couple years now
Who?
since Transcendence.
No, that was this year. Well, not anymore. It was less than a year ago. I think it was late January, wasn't it?
No, because we would have reviewed that.
No, 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 no. We didn't start doing the reviews until May.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I thought you said July. My
I'm
bad.
pretty sure it was January. I think it was a January movie. I think it was like a month
All
before.
right, either way, it's not
That
happening.
what was the other Johnny Depp movie that no one watched where he played the sleuth?
I know Mordecai.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad year for him.
Do you
Uh,
want to know when Transcendence was?
when was it?
it's
It
2014,
was,
wasn't it?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
April 2014.
Damn
Okay,
it!
so yeah, 2 years ago.
Damn it, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't see it. I Hey Steve, you saw it, so you should have
I
known.
did. I didn't think it was horrible either. I was kinder towards it, but it's definitely not a good movie though.
Well, I mean, the fact is that instead of DP in Interstellar, he directed that. That's the point. I mean, Interstellar obviously didn't need him. It still looked really good.
Yeah.
But can you imagine? I mean, Christian Nolan, he has no phone or no cell phone rather. He doesn't do the internet, and so if they like crossed each other's paths, he's like, "Oh yeah, so I heard your movie didn't do that good." like what? Like they see
Well, he
each other at
produced
some
his
kind of
movie, so I'm
dinner.
pretty sure he knows what happened.
Well, maybe I
Yeah.
don't know. Like he has that allure of being off the grid in the digital era, and so he probably wasn't too hot about a movie about entering the digital realm physically.
You know what is interesting though, just while you're on that, is it did dawn on me recently just how this is being shot on 70 millimeter, like just non IMAX format, and it's funny how that format is just
Booming.
really like making a comeback with especially with Hateful Eight. But yeah, now most theaters have the projectors out, and there's even been rumors that Batman versus Superman is going to get a traditional 70 millimeter release. So
Well,
really
we still
interesting.
know how much was shot with IMAX film cameras. Like, there's definitely, well, you have a better idea than most people.
Yeah, I can't talk about that.
Yeah, you can't talk about it, but you would know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I can't talk about
it's
it.
definitely a trend. Like people are obviously attracted to IMAX. It makes a ton of money. Every time they get a big release, it breaks their records time and time again. Obviously, right now it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's going to be that way for still another month. But we talked about this during the Hateful Eight episode. Like Paul Thomas Anderson's The Master, that was only 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now. Or actually 4 because it's 2016. But like that was shot on 72. So like, it seems like hopefully outside of the blockbuster mentality, there might be like one movie a year for the foreseeable future, just to get Panavision and Kodak their money so they can stay in business.
The movie's got to be worth shelling out the extra cash to see it in an IMAX theater.
Well,
So,
did you see
we'll
Hateful Eight?
see. I have not seen Hateful Eight yet. I'm waiting for it to
Okay.
get here.
Well, I paid $20 to see it in the the roadshow experience. That's more money than a 3D IMAX movie is. Even at like Irvine,
Yeah.
at a or Universal City Walk, like at a true IMAX theater, that's still more unless you're buying online with the fee.
Hmm.
It's not convenient. But like there was reports right this past weekend where people were talking about the per screen average for the Hateful Eight being like amazing. I think it was like $65,000 or something, like something crazy. And
Yeah.
and none of the reports that I read did they even mention that it was because it was a super inflated ticket price, which I didn't have a problem with. Like we talked about this in our review last week. I love the take home pamphlet, the program I have. It seems like most people did too. And I think it's worth $5 just owning that piece of memorabilia.
I did not know that you get a piece of memorabilia.
Yeah, they don't
I would
advertise
have
it.
paid the extra $5. Yeah,
Exactly, right? So,
Yeah,
like,
when it gets here, I'm gonna pay whatever money it costs to go see it. But I would have seen it anyway because it's a movie that I think is worth paying
Right.
the extra cash.
that you
I
hope
don't-
is worth paying the extra cash for.
But yeah, that I
Yeah.
hope is worth paying the extra cash for. But the key to getting more studios to produce more movies like this is making sure that it's something that more people will want to go see, that people will want to shell out the extra cash for, like Star Wars or Hateful Eight. Somebody who doesn't have a built-in reputation like Christopher Nolan is going to have a harder time.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, and then even Paul Thomas Anderson. Like, you're also not going to...
Yeah.
A studio's not going to give someone like Josh Trank a 70 millimeter camera. That's not, going to
anymore,
happen.
no.
Like, I hope not. Fantastic.
It almost happened
Um,
with Star Wars.
Well, that's
I mean,
true.
they gave Gareth Edwards one, so
This is
yeah, they gave him
true.
the Ultra Panavision lenses too. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Mm,
So he fucked that
that's an
up.
interesting pickle to be in. Fucking Josh Trank, man.
Man,
This
I
wasn't on the agenda, but I just want to talk about it for a second here. So Max Landis, I started following him again not too long ago.
yeah, you love
Yeah.
talking about him.
I do love talking about him. I think it's because he's the only guy that I know. Well, I don't know him personally, but the only guy I know who has a douchier haircut than I do. But anyway, he tweeted a couple of days ago that he's been approached a couple of times to review things favorably, and that several of his reviewer friends have been approached also on major sites to give reviews. And so all of the reviewers on Twitter are like attacking him, like give us sources, give us some examples, like Slash Film, Drew at Hitfix, Harry Knowles, like all the major quote unquote geek reviewers. And so this is like almost as bad as the Mary Sue thing he did. Like people are really up in arms about this. Like people that have been in the review game for like 15 years.
Hmm.
And so yeah, he needs a publicist, I think, or just to stop tweeting so much. 'Cause he only has like 55,000 followers, but it seems like half of them follow him just to like know how like what he says next.
Honestly, is he committing career suicide at this point? Because American Hustle
No.
is, or
No.
no,
Well,
no,
you
no.
mean
What was it?
Ultra?
American Ultra, yeah. Did
No,
not
I
do
think
that
he's a
well.
good writer.
Neither did whatever that movie, the Frankenstein one was.
Victor
I mean,
Frankenstein.
yeah, if his movies are not making that much bank, then I don't know. Who knows if he might end up in screenwriters jail or whatnot.
I don't think so. Like I was talking about him a couple of weeks ago. He has well, he's not the only writer in the writers' room, but he has a show on Sci-Fi that got picked up for 2 seasons already before the pilot's even
And
been
it's doing
filmed.
well.
I hope
All
so.
right,
But
well, then
then,
forget
like,
what I said.
he has American Alien at DC Comics right now. I've read the first two issues of that. Really interesting take on the Superman origin story. Like he has Wrestling Isn't Wrestling on YouTube. Obviously, the death and return of Superman. Like he has good content. I just think he's gotten unlucky with who makes his stuff because I mean I can't name the I saw American Ultra. I can't name the director. I don't know the director's name for Victor Frankenstein. Neither of those are major studios. And so I just think he has a
Well,
script
Frankenstein
out
is
there.
Fox, isn't it?
Was it?
Yeah.
Is it Fox 2000 or is it just
I don't know.
Fox?
It's they have the 20th Century Fox logo and then it says Fox 2000 in the credits, so I have no idea how you would be able to tell,
I,
except for when you're
I
sitting in the
I don't
theater
think
and you
he's
see the words come up, Fox 2000.
I don't think he's in jail. I think he's still really talented. I just think he has a really big mouth and he doesn't know when to keep it shut. Like I don't think social media is a good place for him most of the time, unless there's there's a hot topic. But like this one, like this was just him blabbing about something that he shouldn't be because he's not in the film review business. Even though he goes on like Screen Junkies and stuff and shares his opinion, or just on Twitter. And I mean I get it because he kind of did make the catalyst for the Ray is a Mary Sue thing. But he still hasn't proven himself as a creative talent, and so he shouldn't be a critical one either, especially in that way. But whatever. I still think he's cool,
I mean,
even if he does dye his hair like a rainbow.
it's tough. I would imagine it would be anyway for separating that from being the creative person to being a fan and being public about both. Like I don't know how you would manage that because on the one hand, like, yeah, you have to, when you know how the business works, like even he was making excuses for Fantastic Four. He didn't know what happened, but he knew like from other experiences that clearly, there was some interference going on. It's obvious in the third act of that movie, but
Not just the third act.
well, it's mostly obvious in the third
Yeah,
act of that movie.
yeah,
But I
the
mean,
third
you
act.
get what I'm saying, right? I don't know where you would draw that line from being a fan of the stuff that's being created to just being a creator working with other creators yourselves. You know what I mean?
I see him as mostly a fanboy that got lucky through genetics.
Yeah, and one good movie.
Yeah, one good movie. But like I said, I think he hasn't peaked yet. I think he writes nonstop. He probably does like 6 or 7 scripts a year. So I think he's gonna make that one thing that just crystallized. Because American Ultra wasn't bad. I didn't. It wasn't amazing or anything, but like Walter Goggins had a great performance. And I
Yeah.
think, like when I saw him in that, I went, "Oh, he's in the Hateful Eight too. He's gonna be good." So like, it's not a bad movie, and I've heard things about Victor Frankenstein. I doubt that's that bad either. He's just not amazing, and the way he comes off is that he thinks he is, and so that's why the internet has a problem with him if they're not his fanboy. We talked about this long enough. Let's talk about other fanboys. Kevin Smith and Jeff Johns. They're going to be hosting this DC Film Universe special on the CW. It's going to be airing January 19th. It's titled DC Films Dawn of the Justice League. So you can guess what it is. It's going to be featuring the new Suicide Squad trailer, interviews with Zack Snyder, Patty Jenkins, who's the director for Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, like Gal Gadot, like all of them, you know. So it's the CW, aka Warner Brothers, trying to take advantage of their mini network and just do it that way. As I mean, up until now, all the superhero stuff like this has been done through Jimmy Kimmel over the last couple of months. So it's cool
That was all
that
through Disney, though. So
well, it's Jimmy. No, the Batman versus Superman
he did
final
that on
trailer. Yeah, that was on Jim Kimmel. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So like they just got really good people in their offices. But yeah, the other stuff obviously it's because it's Marvel and it's Disney. But yeah, like I think I'm gonna tune in for this. I want to see Kevin Smith on TV for some reason outside of the AMC. So or maybe I'll DVR it. But I want to see the trailers anyway. So
Yeah, I'm definitely tuning in. I'm excited to see him.
you know what I'd like to see? I don't know if you guys know this, David. You probably do. Mark Hamill reprised his role as a trickster on
Yes.
The Flash like 2 weeks ago or something. Like that's so cool. Like I wish I was watching the show so I could watch that episode.
I haven't seen it yet because I haven't been watching the show,
Uh-huh.
but it makes me want to watch the show
Right?
just to see that. Yeah.
I saw the pilot, and it was pretty good, but I was like, I spent a decade of my life on Smallville. I'm not getting trapped into the same thing again.
Yeah.
Because the success of Arrow and Flash is so big. Like they've done gangbusters for the CW. Like they probably both will last 10 years, or at least until Green Arrow and the Flash are in movies, which is gonna be in the next couple years for the Flash anyway. Like Ezra Miller is probably like, get the fuck off TV, Grant Austin. So yeah, they're not tricking me. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. The point is, you never get fooled again. Okay.
The shows aren't bad. Green Arrow's good.
Well, I know
Green
it's
Arrow's...
good now. I tried watching that first season. It's not garbage, but very soapy. But now it's like, there's Lazarus Pits, and there's this, and Ra's al Ghul's a villain, and Gorilla Grodd is out there, and like so they've really gone out. And I mean, they have the new show. I think it comes out next month. The DC, what is it called? Legends of the Future, which is their team up show with all the offshoots from those two shows. Plus Constantine made a comeback, like even though NBC canceled that show, he appeared on Arrow this season. So they're doing cool stuff. They call it their CW DC TV universe, which I watch. I watch Gotham, but that's not really part of that. Staying with geeky stuff for a second here. That's kind of all we talk about. Joss Whedon, he did this interview. He claims he's done for good with the MCU. He revealed that he was involved throughout Phase 2, and once he got to Ultron, he just had to part his ways. I got a quote here. He said, "It's very seductive when you can put your little fairy dust on things and just improve them slightly, and they actually listen to you. I was a script doctor for a long time. The part where they listened to you was very rare, so it was important for my own self to go, we can still be friends." I really like this. I want him to do more original stuff.
Yeah. Did you see his Shakespeare interpretation
movie,
no. Much Ado About Nothing? It was really good.
Yeah, we were talking about that on air a couple of days ago.
Yeah, no, I saw it too. I need to rewatch it though. I was not in the best mindset when I saw that.
Yeah, I want to see it. I know it's on Netflix still.
Definitely worth checking out.
Cabin in the Woods.
It'd be great to see. Yeah, it'd be great to see him write, produce, direct more original stuff. It takes a big person to walk away from something as lucrative as potentially more MCU movies would be for him, especially since he's had success.
Are you saying Zack Snyder's a lesser person?
I don't know. I
can do Superman. I can do Superman, Batman. I can do Justice League. I can do a second Justice League. Fuck yeah, dudes! I already did Watchmen and 300. I can do it all.
He's going to be on a decade of Justice League movies. Maybe we'll see how it plays out. That's a lot of big movies to make.
That bums me out because I also kind of want to see Zack Snyder, what he's going to do when he's done with that.
Sucker Punch, man. I would like to see him try another Sucker Punch.
Yeah, no,
because that was
I actually,
a failure. But there was like potential there.
No, I mean there are. It's not a great movie, but I appreciate it more and more when I see it because there is a lot of stuff actually happening there, and it's not thoughtlessly made at all. But I mean, yeah. As far as Joss Whedon got after Age of Ultron, can you blame him? I mean, like I'm really impressed with how much he managed to pull off in that movie because it is a crazy juggling act, and it still comes out okay.
They introduced like what, like 6 new characters in the MCU, and yeah, like it's still really watchable. It's really fun, not as fun as the first, but like really fucking funny.
Yeah, no, I mean,
More than 6
Yeah,
characters.
when your task is, yeah,
I've listened to the
I mean,
audio
the
commentary for
task.
that, and it's really like just the way that he explains things. It's just like you feel really bad for him, like all the like little mandates that he has to fulfill for Marvel. It's tough. I mean,
This is the
it
part where we had
sounds
to
like it's
cut
work.
off-
So
This is the part where he had to cut off Andy Serkis's hand because everyone lose an arm in the Phase 2.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
I love that part. You know, especially how Ultron is just like apologizing at that point. Oh, it'll grow back, right?
I don't
It's
know
just-
much about Marvel, but I do know that that's Black Panther's main villain, and he's known for only having one arm. Hey,
We'll see what happens with the standalone Black Panther movie.
we'll see what happens in Civil War first. I mean, that's his introduction. It's pretty.
I don't. Is Andy Serkis going to be in Civil War?
I doubt it.
We don't know.
Yeah.
He might have an appearance. I
Maybe.
think he is a weapons dealer. So when you got people running from the government, they got to buy weapons from someone, right? I don't know.
I guess.
A couple more things here. Christoph Waltz. I saw Spectre this morning, so we can just say this to all the viewers. He's Blofeld. They didn't do a good job of hiding that.
No.
Better than they tried to do with Khan in Star Trek 2. But he announced today, or not today, but a couple days ago, that he's already signed on for 2 more 007 movies. But the catch is that he's only going to honor that contract if Daniel Craig decides to pick up the PPK again. I kind of respect that. I like that.
Yeah. Hold a gun to his head.
I mean, just the way. I mean, Daniel Craig technically kind of still has 1 movie left, and he backtracks because earlier this year he was, or not this year, earlier last year he said, like, I'd rather slit my wrist than be 007 again.
He's
and
just
then,
been shitting on it.
but then like a couple of days after that, he said like, oh, like maybe I'd do it. Like, doesn't he know that almost everyone besides Sean Connery that's been James Bond, there's like nothing after you leave the gun down. Like
nothing.
You do it as long as you can.
Even Pierce Brosnan is still playing James Bond in other movies.
Exactly.
No Escape.
No Escape.
Yeah.
But not even just No Escape. The fucking Thomas Crown Affair. The After the Sunset. You can name like a lot where it's him being James Bond, and there's not a problem with that. But he hasn't really proved himself as a good actor outside of James Bond. Like, he was in The Golden Compass, like where that went. Like, canceled that franchise.
Cowboys versus Aliens.
Yeah, look at that. Like Jon Favreau almost lost his career because of that movie.
No, but I wouldn't say he was bad in it. I mean, he was good at
No,
playing
he's
that
a very
cowboy. Yeah, I mean, it's not
No, I'm
like
just saying, like, his career doesn't have much legs, it seems, without James Bond.
Well, once you play a character like that, it's hard for the public to kind of hit the off switch. If he all of a sudden started playing, Cowboys versus Aliens, for example, he's a cowboy, American accent. It's right in the midst of his James Bond popularity.
I think
I
that
don't know,
performance worked,
hard.
but it certainly that movie had other problems. It wasn't Daniel Craig. Like, if it turned out to be a good movie, then
I mean, that's one of those movies. Like, I would rather watch The Lone Ranger before watching Cowboys versus Aliens, to be honest.
I don't remember either well enough.
I know they're similar movies.
Yeah, but I mean,
except one
no,
has
he's
aliens.
had other good movies. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I'm looking it up right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
I
that
totally
was
forgot
good.
that. And
Like,
Tintin.
Does that count, though? He has a minor
kinda.
role, and it's mocap.
Kinda. I don't know, but I loved Munich and Layer Cake, so there is that.
It's pre-James Bond.
Yeah.
though. And Layer Cake is him.
That's what got him
Munich
James Bond.
is him playing James Bond. So I wish him the best. It's just like the way they set up Blofeld in this one, you kind of need the tandem to make it work.
Absolutely.
So
Not only do I respect Christoph Waltz's decision, but I really want them back because I really want Craig to end it with a
do the
bang,
fun
like
James Bond.
Yeah, like I did. I kind of like Spectre. I didn't think it was great, but for the most part, it worked for me just as an average Bond film. But
Yeah, it
It
was fun.
needs to end better. Like he needs to go out with a bang. I
I
feel.
made a letterbox review. I'm gonna like say this, on Friday. But since Casino Royale, they've kind of just been going. We're doing a realistic thing. We're trying to make the serious James Bond without the gadgets, without him fucking everyone in every movie. Let's keep it close to our chest. Let's
Not
play
this
it
one.
tight. Yeah, well, a little bit less in this one, but even still, like they wasted Monica Bellucci. She got like 7 minutes of screen time.
Less than that.
Like it was sad. It was really sad.
Yeah,
But
it was.
even still, this is the first one with a gadget, and not really. Like you have to let him get the fun James Bond movie. People like having a fun time at the movies.
I
Not
think.
everything can be about death and despair and the consequences of blowing up buildings.
I mean, if they take a page from Marvel, then yeah, that could very well happen. I mean, the Bond movies always typically tend to be a reflection of whatever's popular at the time. Like, I mean, it
Mm.
wasn't like Casino Royale. That was the gritty reboot after Batman Begins happened. Then we got Quantum of Solace. That was the
Yep.
Bourne movie right after Bourne Ultimatum was fucking huge. Skyfall was the Nolan movie, and Spectre is it's sort of taken a page from all this revival
Birdman.
stuff from just all this stuff of just for the sake of being nostalgic, like the fact that they're hiding, the fact that he's Blofeld. Skyfall is, I mean, Spectre. It's weird because it's kind of like they're trying to go back to being that old school Bond, but not really.
Well, you can't do it without the camp, and there's like no innuendo.
It really is like the more Roger Moore esque Bond
Yeah.
of the Craigs, except it doesn't have the camp like nearly as much.
Which is weird. Like they had a Jaws parallel in this one. You got Dave Bautista.
Who was fucking badass.
He has one
yeah.
line of dialogue. He's definitely badass,
Yeah.
but he has one
Yeah,
line
that
of
was.
dialogue,
Yeah.
and you're not laughing when like his one line is cute, literally. Whatever. I don't know.
No.
It's pretty fresh in my mind. I saw it today, so
Yeah, but hey,
Uh,
I would love to see Christoph Waltz back as Blofeld because as annoying as it was to have that reveal when we all knew it was coming, he was
Nah,
great in it.
he was so good, and their chemistry could be very, very good. It'd be a shame for them not to continue. But to go back a little, he has since gone on and done interviews where he has not shit on the movie.
oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Like he's
yeah, and
very.
to his yeah
Mhm.
to his credit, it was a really long shoot, and he has broken several bones making these movies, and he's gone. I'm sure these movies take a lot out of him.
I mean,
Just think about this.
you
way.
realize
Think
that
about how much
come
pussy he gets because he's James Bond.
you realize that come November, Casino Royale would have been 10 years old.
Really?
Yeah, 2006.
Yeah. Wow.
Like
Yep.
I can't believe it either.
That's crazy.
Hey,
That's still
GoldenEye's
a year
20
from
years
now.
old. That killed.
Well, that feels 20 years old. Okay, the N64 is 20 years old, so
Yeah,
yeah, like that. Because that movie's pretty dated now. Like, look at the phone he uses to drive a car with alone. It's a Nokia. Um, we talked about James Bond for a while here. Talk about the American James Bond, or the one they tried to create. Triple X, bro.
Oh man.
Cassie
oh,
news.
it's back.
Yeah, Tony Jaa and Jet Li are joining Vin Diesel and Samuel L. Jackson in Triple X Return of Xander Cage. I'm pumped. I don't think they're gonna do it the way that they did it in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, where it's like a cameo. I think they're actually like, hopefully Jet Li's the bad guy and Tony Jaa's like his main apprentice or some shit. He's like his henchman.
That'd be
Diesel,
cool.
like I don't like Vin Diesel, like the way they set up Xander Cage. He doesn't know anything about karate. He's not. He's just suave and he knows how to do extreme sports, and that's his whole setup. But he's been gone so long. He knows the return. Maybe he's been training. Maybe Vin Diesel knows karate now.
Maybe he got old.
I'm not super pumped about this franchise though. I guess
am.
you
Well,
are.
I mean,
I'm just glad that
they
Rob
shit
Cohen is
on it.
not directing because
I wish he were. Okay.
honestly, I hate that first Fast and Furious movie. I mean, I really, really don't think it's good. Like, I can't even enjoy it on a so bad it's good level. I think it's more of a Rob Cohen
that's
thing
right.
because
you enjoy the Star Wars holiday special and a bad it's good, but not the first Fast and Furious movie. I forgot.
no, I enjoyed Alex Cross in a so bad it's good way, but that's because I was drunk when I was watching it. So maybe that's exactly what I need. But I mean, after Fast Five, which was so fucking good as an action movie, that that changed everything. Like, I can't find any enjoyment in that first film really at all.
This is unrelated, but kinda. I don't know how good your memory is. I know you don't like this movie. Maybe you will, David. The Jetta from the first Fast and Furious movie that Jesse drives, the the ADD guy that's a whiz with computers. That car is gonna be in Phoenix currently for what's the name of the company that does the super auctions?
No
Oh
idea.
man.
I don't know.
Oh man. Oh no. I gotta get this. I'm gonna cheat. Open up my web browser real quick.
To go back to Triple X a little bit, I'm not pumped for this movie. This is definitely something that I enjoyed when I was 12, but I'm scared to go back and watch it because my memory of it is fond. But I'm positive if I went back and watched it now, I'd think it's garbage.
Yeah,
I
it's
rewatched the
probably
first Triple X not too long ago. It wasn't that bad.
I think it's
Maybe
probably
I'm
just
now I'm blinded.
making another one. It's probably one of those things of just making a sequel to appeal to nostalgia, you
Yeah.
know, which
Definitely.
keeps
That's
happening.
working
But
right now.
I mean, yeah, that's the
so
perfect example though, because Triple X.
Star Wars, Jurassic World.
Okay, yeah, I mean, but Triple X, that is a
Oh.
movie that I also got some mild entertainment from when I was 12, but I would rather keep those memories than to, that's not nostalgia that I need to have brought back.
Well, you weren't that nostalgic for it to begin with.
No, but I mean,
For me,
I did get mild enjoyment out of it at the time, but now, like, if I watch one scene, I'll just be like, I'll leave this alone.
so this is a segue. The auctioneers I was thinking of a second though. It's Barrett Jackson, huge. They sell tons of cars, nice, really nice cars. So they're auctioning the Jetta from the first Fast and Furious movie, which is signed by Rob Cohen and Paul Walker. The person who's selling it is none other than TV's Malcolm in the Middle, Frankie Muniz. So he needs his money, I
Uh-oh.
guess.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Yep.
Yeah.
He's a big time car collector and racer now.
Yeah. And he's selling one of his prized possessions.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean he needs the money.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just doing something
Well,
good.
the jokes are there. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he's just like, I got enough cars. I don't need this one.
True.
Yeah.
Like the one thing to note about the car is that it has a sound system that's powered by a PlayStation 2.
Damn.
It's kind of cool, right? Yeah. Like
That is kind of
at the time, someone was like, "Holy shit!" Frankie Muniz for that fact. It was like, "Holy shit! This car has a PS2 in it. Hell yeah, worth my TV money." I wish I knew how much he got paid for like the final season of Malcolm in the Middle. It's probably like $1 million an episode. Last bit of actual movie news I got here. Rob Zombie, he's been making this movie called 31 for a while. It's obviously Halloween related because not the series, but the holiday, because that's all he does. It's in the MPAA right now. They're trying to get a rating for it. It's gone through the process twice and got an NC-17 both times. So he went on Facebook. He was telling all of his fans, I don't want to make any more cuts. I already made so many, but I have to because if I don't, you guys aren't going to see it. We all know how NC-17 works and how badly not distributors, but multiplexes don't like it. I'm kind of hopeful that this could buck the trend. Like maybe NC-17 could become a thing for Hollywood cinema again. It's been so long since Showgirls. It's been over 20 years now. Maybe it's time. Look at Game of Thrones. People
except
love
his
watching.
movies aren't good.
Well, I'm not talking about him in particular, but just the rating. Like, what's the point of having the rating if no one uses it besides foreign films?
I don't know.
Like,
Plus,
blue is the warmest colors. Like, the most recent NC-17.
yeah, but I mean, also, it's Rob Zombie, and he makes stuff mainly for his fans. I don't think he's that big of a mainstream success, except for the first Halloween.
Yeah, the
But
first
that's
Halloween's
still
pretty good.
brand recognition. I mean, I think all of his stuff that I've seen, it's always been the unrated cut that's much more intense than the version that was theatrically released anyway. So,
Well, my thought process right now is, he doesn't make that much money to begin with on his theatrical releases, like you said, without Halloween, without the name recognition. So would it really hurt him to release an NC-17 movie to begin with? Just play it at really, like, not at the AMCs and Cinemarks and Pacific theaters, but at something small, like art house theaters. He'd probably make the same money anyway. Like, think about it. Most of his fans are probably over 17. He hasn't had a music career in, like, 10 years anyway. So what's the worst that could happen?
I mean, yeah, like, I don't know. When his movies
It's
are
not
released on a large scale, they don't do that
don't
well.
make
What was
money.
what was
Exactly.
the last one? Witches of Salem or something like
Yeah,
that?
that made nothing.
Yeah.
Devil's Rejects, that didn't do that well. House of Thousand Corpses, like all of his movies besides the Halloween, the 2 Halloween ones, they're not hits. Like he has his dedicated fan base. They're gonna watch his movies. If they're gonna watch his movies, they'd be willing to drive out of the way to watch it at a weird theater to see the uncut version that he wanted to make.
You know, normally I get ratings, you know, in the MPAA being an issue, and that's been talked about in many other cases where, you know, it's been ridiculous before, but this is Rob Zombie, you know, seeing what he's done, fucking Fishboy and House of a Thousand Corpses, or
How about Werewolf Woman of the SS?
yeah, well, hey, that's a joke, but I mean, and then what?
Fu
There's
Manchu! I would pay to watch that movie. Look, if Machete can get
my
a movie,
point is
Thanksgiving.
my
turn or
point is
something,
I'm not surprised that a Rob Zombie movie would get an NC-17. I mean, I
I'm
kind
pretty
of
sure all of his movies have probably got NC-17.
yeah, I mean, he's had to overturn them at some point, so I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to say, like, you know, chill out. I mean, your stuff is kind of a bit too intense I mean, you know, for people that are squeamish are not
General
necessarily gonna.
Well, he's one of those people, though. I mean, the same way that, you know, like John Waters is the same thing. Not the same kind of graphic material, but if you don't like John Waters, you're not going to see it regardless of what kind of ratings it gets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think, or I hope rather, 'cause it's not even just movies. You know, it's video games too. There's a rating that the ESRB has, which is the equivalent of the MPAA. It's adult only. And there hasn't been a game that's had an AO sticker since like the mid 90s, like Sega CD. I believe that this year that's going to change. I feel like a VR game is going to be released that's just like a sex simulator. So I don't know. I want things to change. Maybe change the rating system to make it less scary to distributors. Just
I don't know. I
cents.
mean, but it's
I don't know.
I don't know how you. I don't know what's in the movie. It's just I'm not.
Well, I'm sure there's people
Yeah.
getting like their face fucked, like literally, like blood getting drank and shit up noses, like you know, it's Rob Zombie, maggots, who knows?
Yeah, I mean that sounds a bit too intense even for R, don't you think?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like the
I
original
mean, how else
Dead,
can you make something? Even R ratings are, you know, it's
orig-
sketchy to still for movies like unless it's an Oscar movie, studios or a comedy studios typically don't like to make those because it's not going to make as much money because you can't get teenagers in there.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
I mean-
that's always been a problem. Like R-rated movies are still a risk.
and becoming a lot less so. I mean, look at Fox; they're making the Deadpool movie, which is a really hard R.
Yeah, which
So-
hopefully that's a change. I mean, especially since Kingsman did so fucking well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we talked about this before.
Those are the
Same month.
movies that'll have to make the big changes. Movies like Deadpool, Kingsman, costly movies that will stick to their hard R and deliver the money.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing with Deadpool is that they know that there's an established audience that's aware of the X-Men universe that's going to go see that movie no matter what. So
Mhm.
it's not
It's not-
that
I-
big
I
of a
don't
risk.
even- I mean,
I don't think it's. I don't know what the budget is. It's probably
I
around
think it's like
80,
25 or
maybe?
30
for Deadpool.
80? I don't know.
Yeah, no, Kingsman
I
was
mean,
pretty high. So, it was right under
Yeah.
100 mil. Yeah.
I think Deadpool's like, or not 30. I misspoke. It's probably like, I don't know, 50. I don't think it's 80. I think it's lower than that. I don't think they pumped a lot of money into it because it's R, and it's unless you're, I don't know, you never see his face really, and like that's kind of like the big thing for superheroes. You have to identify with the character,
Right.
but who knows? Find out when their Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I
is
can't
up.
see the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out in a couple of weeks.
But I mean, you know, even Mad Max, that was also a risk, and it did fairly well.
That's established
financially, yeah.
franchise.
Yeah, but I mean, well,
Deadpool really
that whole
good.
production was just it was a waiting game. They were pouring money into it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they didn't know when it was going to come out.
Well, time will tell. We'll
Yeah.
see if that one wins an Oscar. I got two last things here, both tech related. Talk about a lot on the show. 4K, aka ultra high def. In particular, the way you can watch movies on it. Warner Brothers has joined the coalition of Sony and Fox to release 4K Blu-rays.
Let me guess,
They
Fury Road?
say, yeah,
Hell yeah.
they say that they're going to have over 35 movies available by the end of this year. The first four that they're releasing are Mad Max Fury Road, Pan, Lego Movie, and San Andreas. So I have to imagine all four are also going to be in 4K 3D. So that'd be really cool. On top of that, it's probably also going to have the HDR, high dynamic range support. So if you already bought Mad Max Fury Road, give it to someone, get this new copy when you buy your new TV.
I might just
Pretty
have to do that.
Wait,
I
what?
bought it digitally.
I was going to say, I doubt either of you have a 4K TV. So
Yeah,
you can get it for
no.
really cheap.
I got a 3D TV though, and it looks
Vizio?
really good.
You can get a 4K Vizio on Amazon for $628. We're talking about a 50-inch here. It's not a piece of crap. You can get like the 42-inch for I think it's like $530.
I'm pretty happy with my TV.
Yeah, I'm
almost-
probably if I upgrade to a
almost-
4K TV, it's probably going to be a couple years from now.
Yeah.
But I
I
mean,
got
if I can get the just the regular 1080p Blu-ray with the 4K disc, then I'll invest early into that. But
I'm sure
yeah,
they're doing that. I mean, they did the same
yeah,
way
with
when
DVDs and
Blu-ray
Blu-ray,
first came
yeah.
out. Exactly, you got both, and I mean, you still do to a certain
Hmm.
extent, or at least you get the digital copy. So they're probably gonna do that. It's gonna be the 3D Blu-ray, the 4K 3D Blu-ray, and a DVD plus ultraviolet plus whatever, plus the black and white copy if that's actually a thing. Final thing I got here. It's kind of the prediction era. CES Consumer Electronics Show is this week. I believe it starts tomorrow in
Hmm.
Vegas. It's an annual thing. If you don't know what it is the E3 of electronics. It's the trade show. It's what the World's Fair used to be, except only for electronic items. Things that either of you are looking to see? Any predictions you have? Like some kind of tech that's released that would blow your mind?
I'd like to see if Samsung, the new phone lines were leaked this week. I'd like to see if they're going to go on, put out a full production. I'm pretty sure they are. I don't know if they've announced it yet, but I'd like to see that. Google's design people have been giving a bunch of interviews lately on,
The Google Glass re-up,
yeah,
the new release, the
the
foldable version for business.
yeah, yeah.
Got you, Steve. You had any expectations? I know you
That's
like talking about glassesless 3D.
that's nothing in particular. No,
No,
like
I got it.
if I get news on it, then yeah, but I'm not really eagerly
Definitely,
anticipating it now.
you'll be getting news from me a week from now. I got a couple things. I'm pretty sure 8K is going to be shown off because it's already out there. I think Toshiba has an 8K, or maybe it's Samsung. One of them, probably both of them, and all the majors definitely have it in development. So I think they're going to be showing that since 4K is being adopted right now. HDR is going to be huge. Um, there's Dolby Vision, which is the standard that should take off, but
Yeah.
every company has their own. LG already announced their line of three TVs that have HDR and 4K with their own padded in HDR system. But I think it's going to be less ubiquitous. I think phones are going to have it even in the same way that Sony's released their 4K Xperia Z5. I think that phones are going to have it. And to bounce off what you said, Samsung, I doubt they're going to show anything, or at least nothing major outside of TVs and cameras, because they do have their own trade shows that they do
I know they have their
usually.
own trade show.
Yeah, or not the trade show, but I mean, they usually have their own event lined up. They might show something.
They took a hit last year for not selling or for not promoting and advertising
Mhm.
their new phone line last year well enough. And with all the leaks, I thought maybe we'd
It's
get
possible, but I mean,
some official pictures or something.
I really think VR and AR are going to be the
Oh
huge
yeah,
things because those
yeah.
were already huge last year. But I mean, AR is
Hmm.
in the Google Glass descriptor. But like Oculus has already announced that their touch controllers are going to be pushed to quarter two. The Rift is supposed to be released this first quarter, so is HTC Vive. So I think that for all the major players, maybe even Sony, I don't have my fingers crossed here, that you're going to see the consumer model on the floor. Like maybe Samsung shows another version of the Gear VR. Maybe there's like a Google Cardboard version 3. Who knows? But we are in the present now in terms of VR, and it's, like for in some cases less than 60 days away when consumers are gonna
Hmm.
be able to buy one. So whatever bells and whistles they got left for this first generation of their technologies is definitely going to be there. And then, as stupid as it is, there's going to be 1,000 devices about making your house even smarter or smarter. I doubt there's going to be.
Smarter.
Yeah. So now you got a fridge with a touchscreen panel in front of it that knows that your milk is expired. So it can push a list to your phone through the cloud, so your grocery list is made for you, so you can't forget something. And then you get alerts sent to your Apple Watch, so you definitely can't forget because we're that stupid now. I'm probably gonna watch some periscopes of the show because that's a thing. I watched Pierce Greta's Periscope for NATO, the not the government
Yeah, no,
conference.
the National
Yeah,
American,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
Theater
a North
Association, yeah.
American theatrical organization. Yeah, or I think it's North American or Association of Theater Owners.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. So it's kind of cool, especially for. I mean, civilians are allowed to go to CS, but just finding a hotel in Vegas is usually hard enough. And then with the trade
It's the
show and the
Comic-Con of tech.
tickets, oh yeah, Like people come from around the world to go to CES.
Hmm.
So we'll see what happens. I know we kind of bumped this to the next show. We have dollar reviews for this, but because I want to thank David for lending his time this last hour with us. Anything you've watched or read or listened to or whatever over the last some odd weeks or whatever that you feel like
I
talking
might,
about?
yeah, I might be late to this because it came out a while ago. But yesterday, I saw Spotlight. Very good, highly recommended.
Yeah, I need to see that.
If you grew up Catholic, I'm sure it'll resonate with you. So yeah, that's my
That's
two
it.
cents.
Did, did you
I'm
check
re-
out VR porn yet?
I I have not done that. No, 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 no,
That's a fucking lie. He has a girlfriend in the room. He definitely has. I gave him a website. I'll just talk about it since he can't. Um, so yeah, you
I can neither confirm or deny.
sure. Steve
That's
retexted
confirmation.
me that tweet, or actually a screenshot of it anyway,
Yeah.
that Ryan Johnson made about or like he was replying to someone else that said something, but basically along the lines that VR has the potential to be the next new art form that hasn't had its language defined yet. In the same
Hmm.
way that filmmaking, even though cinema first existed in like 1894, it didn't really become a thing until like 1907. And so there's a learning curve with new technology, and I think VR porn is like truly the first like fully realized satisfying experiences you can do, especially since it's free through Kink VR. Because it's hard to explain in the same way that all VR experiences are hard to explain without experiencing them firsthand or two hands. I don't know how big your dick is, but like VR porn is just, if you've never seen 3D porn, imagine that, except you can move your head, and it is a special thing. Like I could probably charge by the minute people to watch VR porn on my Google Cardboard. I'm sure there's booths now. Like I can imagine like in adult theaters where you put the quarter in and you watch behind the glass the girl dance for you or whatever. I could
Hmm.
imagine that existing, except it's just a virtual reality headset in the booth. I think you would like be financially successful doing that, like renting out those booths.
I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen this stuff in movies. Like this is the future, pretty much.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Strange
Yeah,
Days just a couple days ago.
literally, yeah. Just wait until you get all those neural sensations and all that. But I cannot. I have not experienced VR myself or 3D porn for that matter. I don't even really watch porn. But
Yeah, I'm with you,
yeah,
but
I could see that happening
I
though.
got this piece of cardboard. I had to, I for like a week there, I couldn't put the damn thing down, so I had to try out every single thing I could. Like, I haven't used VR without showing it to someone in like over a week, like a week and a half or something like that. But it is,
It is an awesome experience.
yes,
As soon as I put my headset on, I my first instinct was to tell a bunch of people that they need to try this. That was my first because it was so immersive, so awesome. I'm not even talking about porn here. I'm talking about just the nature show, the you take a tour through any place you want to visit on the planet, games.
I didn't do
It's
any games
pretty
yet.
incredible.
Oh,
I've done a couple games. It's pretty incredible.
I am looking into getting a new phone fairly soon, so I might
Uh,
have to invest in a Google Cardboard at some point.
do it. You can get it
Yeah,
on Amazon. I've told you, you can get one
Yeah,
for like 10
yeah.
bucks.
yeah.
So
15 if you want a little headband so you
yeah,
can
well,
use
yeah,
both hands.
I don't have the headband.
I don't either.
I don't need it. I mean, I'm gonna be in. I don't know, like Sony hasn't announced when the PlayStation VR comes out, but I'm set. Like I'm gonna be a day zero buyer. I already have all the tech I need to use the damn thing. I just need the headset itself. And so, like in terms of gaming, that's why I haven't done it, because the controls are limited and it's not. I don't know if my phone would be able to handle well, I mean, I do have a nice phone. It's also made by Sony, but I don't know. I don't want to shorten or lessen that first experience of VR gaming. I can wait, hopefully less than 6 months, but I can wait.
Yeah.
Not for
I don't know
porn.
if I want to commit to Gear VR just yet,
Do
but
do you have a
I'm
Samsung?
definitely thinking about. Yeah, I have a Samsung.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't, since you just talked about them
Yeah, yeah.
showing off and leaking. They're going to release another one for their next
Hmm.
flagship devices, I would assume. So I'm sure at the
Yeah,
time too, you'd be
sometime
able
this
to
spring.
get, yeah, you'd be able to get like a Gear VR plus the S7 together, and like the VR would be free as an incentive to upgrade.
Hmm.
So that's what
Yeah.
I would do. But that's the show we got. Thanks for listening. If you stayed all the way through when you listened to the nasty bits, it was fun. You can find us on Twitter at Dollar Reviews, also on Facebook, same name. Additionally, as always, Dollar Reviews podcast.wordpress.com, where you can find all of our shows. There's links to iTunes, SoundCloud, etc. My name is Brian. You can find me on Letterboxd with that name. It's Brian Gillis, also on Twitter. How about you guys?
You can also find me on Letterboxd at s_mtx, and that's also my Twitter name.
I am not on any of those things, but my name is Dave, and it's nice to be here.
It was
Be
nice
sure
to
to send
have
us
you
an It was.
back.
Be sure to send us an email or something, especially you, Hyro, dollar.review@gmail.com. Have a good one.
Shout out, Iro.